All right, I guess we need to bring us, go ahead and bring the meeting. Is everybody read, got the minutes from last meeting? Or is everybody agree to the meetings? We just need to,
I'll make a motion. We accept the meetings as minutes as presented.
By Bruce,
I'll second.
second by Mr. King.
any opposed? I guess not. All right, well,
Is that a
Yes, go-
vote? Oh.
yes,
Everybody approve? Yes,
Yes.
yes. Ralph? You?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Oh man, get Ralph's picture off. He's got that funky shirt on.
Yeah,
Oh no.
he's keeping it hid very well.
Oh, oh.
Okay. Next one, go ahead.
all right, we got that. That was voted on, so guess we just need to go to our whatever business we got now.
Fiscal year 1920 expenditures and projects. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to find where I had that. Oh, here we go. I'm going to share the screen with you. Okay. That's not the right one. Can you guys see the airport expenditures? Or are you seeing a different screen?
We're seeing the airport.
Airport.
Okay, you seeing the like advertising, duplication, printing,
Yeah.
205, 210, etc.
Mhm.
Yes.
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 All right, these are your expenditures for the year. The budget is the third column. All right, the actual year to date is over in the left-hand column, and what's remaining is in the right-hand column. And I'll tell you real quick, the very last one, land improvements, those are actually in the wrong place. Those are supposed to be in 21,351. They're supposed to be in capital expenditures, and not in these, not in this 526, but another one where the money was budgeted. So that 60,000 that's showing over is actually over in the other one, which had the money in it. So that brings you back to about 12,000 left on your expenditures for the year. This was our first year to actually have a budget, so a lot of this was just playing it by ear. We budgeted 53,000. In retrospect, going back, I don't know that we expected a lot of the expenses that we got as even with maintenance. Maintenance was much greater than we expected it would be. But to date, all the lights are working, all the signs are fixed. It's looking good out there. That's what, I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see a picture of a sign?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's what it looked like. However, that's what it looks like now.
Looks good.
Yeah,
Good.
much better. But so just to let you know, that was the last of it. This has been one of the hardest ones to fix right here. But the beacon's been fixed, all the taxiway lights. We've come a long way. So a lot of these routine maintenance things are just going to be light fixtures, maybe some electrical as they creep up in the future. But professional and technical services, we've utilized a lot of engineering this year, probably more so than we expected. Utilities have not been, they've been expensive, but a lot of that has to do with the construction that we were doing out at the terminal. So we've got, I think that's going to smooth out a little bit in the next year's budget. Rents and storage, that was a one-time thing for some equipment. Other contractual services, that had mowing, landscaping. We're in good shape there. We did do a new contract for this season's mowing. The price went up about $270 per mowing, which we actually got a real deal last year at $550 a mowing. You know, this year it's at $820, but that was still the best one we had. And so DK Construction got that one, and they're going to continue on this year. They did it last year. They're continuing on this year. Technical supplies, we really haven't spent anything in that one, nor in other materials and supplies, nothing there. Dues and subscriptions, that's NavAir, the NavAid, where we're doing the advertisement for the airport in that publication or that website that talks about what features we have, what fuel we have, price of fuel, et cetera, et cetera. So that's basically it, that advertisement there. Technical equipment, that goes back to our purchase of the weather advisory station, which is up and running. That we didn't spend as much there as we thought we would. And then of course, the rest of this was in building improvements or land improvements out at the airport. Again, that goes to the capital projects instead of here in the general. So that 60,000 would come out of this budget, and showing the 501 that we have spent year to date would reduce it by the 60,000 roughly. So you're back down to about 51,000. So I guess we're about $2,000 or so from being maxed out. But overall, I think it's been a pretty good year considering we just went into this almost as it was brand new. So we've got a little bit more that we can bring to the table this time, I think, as far as looking at the future. Any questions about this, the expenditures right now, projects? Flag poles are here. We still got to put them up. We got signs to put up, 2 signs that Kentucky Dam Village signs, the governor signs. We've got 2 of those to put up. The fire marshal has approved the UL system for the fuel. So it's going to move forward again. The money's there. We've got the approval. We got the money from the state. So that's good. And we're moving forward with that one. Dennis has gotten me in contact with Brent Johnson.
Robertson.
Okay. I had another, Steve Johnson is the other guy I was thinking about from Titan Aviation. But Brent is with Mayfield, and he said he would be, if he would definitely be glad to share loads of fuel with us. So if we go through the same carrier, if we're able to go through Titan, he will work with us on that. So that makes it easier for us. The other one in this area is, I think, Phillips 66. Again, I've got to do a request for proposal so we can get that out. I'll be working on that here in the next week or so, get that going so we can get our fuel provider online. So any other questions here?
No, John, the commissioner's moving forward on the inch overlay for the main, for the strip, for the FAA. So that work's going forward too.
John, do you think
That won't be in this year's budget though, will it?
It won't cost us anything anyway. It's gonna be federal FAA for us funded,
Okay.
federal.
All right.
Hey, John, this is Bruce. Do you think, do you have an idea what the expenses will be maybe for next year? Or will the budget, do you think it'll be something similar in line? $50,000, $100,000?
Yeah, I'm looking at probably more like 61 to 100,000. And the reason for that is the fuel.
Yeah.
Biggest thing there is fuel. We've got to put in enough money to cover fuel, even though it'll be a recurring or a replenishing cost. We need to
Right.
put some money in there for that, and it's going to show up in our budget. So I expect it to go up actually.
Sure.
Just operating costs without the fuel, about 61,000,
Okay.
based on utilities and everything else that I'm seeing. And
Mhm.
I've got that for you. I was going to pull that up. Let's see here.
Next year's the federal money, the 150,000. That's next year, 12.
What are we
22.
talking about?
That federal money, since since the airport's back up
100,
to,
150.
That we won't get
1,000.
that unless they certify us, will we?
I thought we had 12 craft.
We got it, but I haven't heard that they've certified us yet.
They
They've done the
have.
inspection.
I think they have. I think it's been done.
I just haven't heard that. Okay.
There's 12, I think, wasn't it, when it's supposed to come?
We've got 11, I
12,
think it
22.
is. You had to have 10.
Yeah, and we had
We have
12.
11.
Okay.
Let me pull down here to the right budget. Okay, I'm gonna go back and share again so we can look at this. Ralph knows this one very well. He's seen it many, many years. Okay, you can see right now that I've got a budget worksheet here in front of you. Can everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Column, if you'll look here, this was the previous year audit figures for 18-19. 19-20 is our current fiscal year budget. The 9-month figures are in the column I, you can see right here. And this is what we're estimating to spend by the end of the year. So you can see in professional technical, we were a little bit under. So 7, and we've actually spent 22.5 on that one. Next year, I propose to increase it because of all the different items that we've got going. And some of these items were carry over from state, some things that were working under the state when we took this on. Maintenance repairs, we budgeted 10,000. I expect at the end of this, and of course, there may have been some more expenditures I'm not familiar with. Where was that?
Big thing, John, next year, it's going to be the roof. Paint the building and the roof. Yeah, we got to get that in the budget.
Okay, make a note of that, and we'll get back to that in a second. Maintenance repairs, we're going to be actually at 7,500. We just got a bill in that I had not seen. So this one's going to be right at 7,500 for the year. Our utilities, I expect them to be somewhere around 5,500 to finish out the year. We're currently sitting at 44.5. We're looking at going to 6,000 next year. Rents and storage, again, I didn't put anything in that because that was an oddball. Other contractual services, again, this is mowing and this is landscaping. And we had 20,000 in there. I expect us to spend about 12.6, 12.7, somewhere in there. And I went up on this one because the cost has gone up and we're going to have a full season. And I just expected more cost associated with the landscaping and care out there. So I bumped that figure up for next year as well.
Hey, John,
Yes.
Jim, Dr. Hawkins just said he's trying to get on, so I don't know if somebody needs to. I don't know if
Accept
somebody have to accept him or not.
Did he get he was sent a link, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Then
He
all
just-
right,
he
if he has issues, Blair's still monitoring. She can assist.
Okay. He just said he was trying to get on, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't see him in the waiting room.
Okay.
All right.
He's a doctor. They don't wait in the waiting room.
No, they're always late.
Look in the surgery room, see if you can get him.
Let's see here. All right. This year, of course, we didn't have motor fuel and a lubricant. Well, let's go back over technical supplies. We haven't used anything in that this year. We budgeted 500. We haven't used anything. Doesn't mean we won't. It's minimal. So I'm going to keep that fund in there. 500. That might just be light bulbs or something like that. Other material supplies, same thing. Toilet paper, light bulb, stuff like that. Then that gives you the 61,000 so far. Now, the one thing I hadn't done was motor fuel and lubricants for this next year. And talking with one of the fuel providers, his estimates came up about what mine did. We're looking somewhere averaging $3 per gallon. That's just an average. And that's right now it's lower than that, but it will be coming up. And so we're looking at 10,000 between the two and 1.5 times that. So we're looking at 45 to 50,000 is where we're at, just as a replenishing amount for the fuel. So you guys okay with that?
So John, so that's the cost, and then you're expecting somewhere in the same vicinity for revenues on the fuel?
Yeah, I mean, it would be, yeah, we'd be selling the fuel, but we have to track it. So we'd be putting money in here, just like we do for the fire
Right.
training center for the gas.
Right,
Gas. You know, we buy it and have to have money there to show to buy it, and then
right.
it replenishes itself, comes back. And that may be a
Okay.
little much, but I didn't want to get in the same boat that we were in this year and be under. So
Sure.
if you guys are
just don't-
okay,
You
want
just don't
45
know
or
with that being the
50,000.
first year, do you?
Say again.
I said, you just don't know with this being the first year with fuel.
That's correct. That's correct. So you guys are happy with 45, or do you want me to go with 50?
I'd probably go with 50.
Is that a consensus?
Yes.
Sure. I mean, we actually have no idea.
No.
Heck,
No, that's
Sure.
correct. Well, I mean, we're doing an estimate based on what you're talking about, 10,000 total gallons of fuel in the two tanks. You know, 1.5 loads each. So that's 15,000 gallons. $3 a gallon is $45,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And we shouldn't, if by the time we go to get the other half, we should have money. If we're getting that far along, we should have some money in there to help pay for it. So,
But you still have to budget that too, right?
Well, you better, yeah.
The revenues.
yeah,
Yeah,
the revenues
exactly, yeah.
would be added back to it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And that fuel, the proceeds from that fuel have to go back to the airport. We have to use it to offset, to buy more fuel and use it for stuff like that. We can't use it for anything else like general fund. It has to be back to the airport.
Operating expenses.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then office equipment, I put 3,000 in for office equipment. That's to take care of the furnishings that the mayor is wanting to put in for the pilot's lounge and the meeting room and that kind of stuff.
They wouldn't even buy the table.
Well, you don't need to go with the mahogany stuff. You can get that Walmart and Sam's Club's got some really nice stuff. What do you want me to put in there? And don't
I was
tell me
kinda thinking-
100,000
I was kind of thinking yard sale.
yards. Yeah.
I don't care what y'all think. I'm gonna do what I want.
I thought the mayor was donating that.
There you
did?
go. There you
Don't
go.
say that. He will. All right. I'm going to go 5,000 just to
There you are.
try
That's
to
better.
make him stay out of trouble.
That's better.
Then land improvements, you're talking about painting outside, and what else was it, Mayor?
New roof.
New roof?
Yep.
It needs one?
John, put the roof in there.
Yes, sir.
have it, he wants it all new when it starts off, so therefore it's all ain't gonna be replaced at the same time.
Yeah, you want the building to look really good, and that's gonna have to happen. You have to put a roof on it.
You know, Fire Training Center's not gonna be happy with you.
Then you get on the list.
All right, I'll put 20,000 in there. Surely that'll take care of the roof and the painting.
Oh, by far, yeah, they won't take that much. That's not a big building.
What were you thinking about 15?
The roof,
Roof and the painting?
the roof will cost. No, the roof will cost. Getting it on, it'll be $4,000, and then the paint won't be that great. Probably $1,500, $5,500 probably do it.
You
That
think
means
10,000 will cover it?
That means 10.
Oh yeah, by far.
By
All
far.
right, well, I'll just do 10,000 then.
Our
Can I
guys
hear
can paint it.
750? Can I hear 750?
Our guys can paint it. We just buy
Okay.
and paint.
All right, so for capital, we're gonna do 10,000 for roof and painting the exterior and 5,000 for office equipment, correct?
That's right.
All right. Then we did 50,000 in for the fuel. We've got 1,000 for supplies. 24,000 for professional and technical services. 7,500 on maintenance and repairs. 6,000 for utilities and 22,500 for contractual services.
John, you're not having to do anything special for COVID-19, are you, at the moment, or for people that fly in or anything of that nature?
Well, yeah, right now there's no pickup service from the lodge. There's nothing out there that we're doing. No.
Okay. And there's nothing that you have to do if someone were to fly in.
No. I
Because
mean,
the building's locked. They can't get in the building.
Gotcha.
and they're cleaning the bathrooms. We're cleaning the bathrooms. So that's basically it right now. So
Yeah, I just flew into Destin and they wasn't doing nothing in Florida. I mean, it's like regular business.
I was curious if anybody was, if they were making anybody do anything special.
So we're looking at budget of 126,000, which if you were to take the fuel out is about 20,000 more than what we, about 23,000 more than what we had budgeted last year. And that was more or less a blind budget. So
Good.
that's not too bad. Is there anything else anybody was wanting us to consider?
Dennis, you're the expert.
That looks good. I mean, once we get the FBO done and, then, the T hangers and stuff, which, it's going to have to be bid out. So,
Well, the T-hanger will be on hold because the state has no money and they're not going to put their half the project. So we'll have to hold that until the state gets the money in their coffers. That's where that's at right now.
okay.
We are working on a contract currently to complete the paving of the parking lot and the access, ingress and egress to the drive to the road, from Airport Road to the parking lot, and from the parking lot through the tarmac gate. We're working on a contract right now. Are getting the information together to get to Greg for the contract. The quote we got was $17,450. That includes milling the key, where the pieces meet. It's called a key. Milling the key to an inch and a half of bituminous surface, and then striping the parking lot for that price. So, and that's central paving. And that, again, that will be in this year's budget. So,
That's state funded, right?
sir,
That's state funded, or a majority of it was. state grant funded the airport parking lot, except for a couple $1,000.
That's gonna be, well, it's not in there yet. It'll be added to that amount.
Yeah.
But that'll go into that 526 in the capital. That's where all of our paving goes over there.
And you said this year or
This
next
year.
year?
Yes,
Okay,
this
before
year.
June, before, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
We shouldn't have any, once this year ends, we should have most of the building with the exception of some furnishings on the inside. It should be complete. Well, there's Dr. Hawkins.
Hey, I made it.
We should have the remodel done. Well, also exception of the painting and the roof, but the parking lot, the remodel, the fuel, the flag poles, the signage, that should all be completed at the end of this fiscal year. And then that leaves us with the roof and a paint job to go on the exterior for next year, really, and then fuel. And then whatever else we're lucky to be able to get, overlay, hanger pad, whatever else we're able to move forward with next year. And because of the way the COVID is set up, the best thing for us is not knowing, is just to wait and to see. And if it comes up, then if we need to do a budget amendment, we'll do a budget amendment.
Makes sense.
Questions? Is anything else, any other projects anybody's got on their mind that we need to address?
Well, I've been working on this landscape around my house. Does that count?
I'll send Bob over there.
Oh, thank you.
Talk you through it.
Yes, I have no doubt. I was actually drove out there a couple of weeks ago. It really looks nice. A lot of big difference.
He's done a lot out there on that interior. He really has. And then the guys on out there on the sidewalk, the fencing and everything, they spent a lot of time and done a lot of good work out there. We've got a good crew, really good crew. So, for the fuel, Dennis, correct me, but I only know of 2 suppliers in this area, and that's Fit 66 and Shell, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
The one in Paducah, Midwest Terminal.
Yeah.
They will sell fuel, but it's not their business. I mean, they don't
Yeah.
normally. So
They're not going to provide the training and the this background support that Titan or the Fit 66 group will.
well, and the Titan will take all the credit cards, and it runs right through their server. So
Okay. One thing we got to work on is to try to set up so that the military, we've got to figure out a way to set up a signature setup for the military. And so that's something we got to work on.
John, there are some things that Blair has planned and we like to do this year, fly in and some other events at that airport. But I think in order to do that, the first time around, we'd be better off if we just amend the budget instead of coming back trying to get that in there now. We'd just be shooting money out there. We'd have no idea what that cost is going to be until we're there. So, but there's going to be some marketing that we're going to be doing and some activities that we'll need to be paying attention to.
Well, I know our flying club used to do a pancake breakfast once or twice a year, just to get. And the only reason we quit is because of no fuel. It's just hard to get a fly in without fuel. You got anything else, John? Or
I personally don't. I was just, unless the mayor or somebody else, one of you gentlemen has something.
Need a
So-
motion to adjourn?
Well, on the T hangers, I mean, is it still not something we could, I mean, do we have to have the state's money on
Well,
those?
yeah, with the 50-50 share, they're $1 million a piece. That's gonna, it's gonna require, the council's not gonna do it without that. And the commissioner's still working on it, but you have to focus on the new administration. Governor Bevin was really high in aviation, put a lot of money in aviation, did a lot of upgrades across the state. Governor Bashir is not as high on aviation. Of course, he's just in his term. He's trying to look at what he's got. And the state of Kentucky is not very well financially endowed. And so they'll be looking at cutting some costs in many areas, and aviation is one of those. Sadly, they can get some cost cuts. But we're still moving forward, and we're doing our planning, and we're doing everything we can so we can be ready to go once we get the station lot, if they can do that asphalt and the concrete for us. Because
Okay.
we want those things out there.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen is if we don't get something started with the T hangers, we're going to lose those 10 aircraft. And then we're not going to get the FAA money.
I understand. One thing, certainly we could borrow $1 million, but borrowing $1 million is it can be done. We've already looked at the cost of it. That's a lot of money to go into a debt, and for the council to swallow that, I'm not sure that they're going to be real happy about $1 million investment, even though we can show the cash flow from the operation of the sale of the rental of the T hangers to be able to cash flow it. It's just the ominous thing of having $1 million debt. That's the whole deal. So we're working on it. We're not going to give up on it. We just have to find a new way to get it done. And there might be some money comes along from the federal that can give us some help in that. Because a lot of the stimulus money in that huge stimulus package that you just financed has a lot of money going to aviation, and they have some funds floating around. We're applying for $1 million of those funds to get that fence built around that building. So we can do a new security fence. So we're still at it. We're still at it. We just got sort of caught. We
Sure.
weren't ready. We should have been ready.
I understand. Well, if nobody's got anything else, do you have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
By Mr. Lyles,
Yes, sir.
second by, who was that? Oh, Mr. King. All
All
in
right.
favor?
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye, okay.
Hello, Doc.
How's it going? I finally made it. I'm a dumb doctor. It took a lot to get on this thing.
Slow and steady wins the
No,
race.
don't ever give up. You know, that's the story.
Dennis,
Yes,
There
sir.
you go.
Dennis,
Yeah,
I want to
yes,
show
sir.
you that. That's the greatest airplane ever made.
That is
That's the greatest airplane ever made.
absolutely. Next is a Mooney.
Next one is the which one?
A Mooney.
The Mooney. Okay.
Ain't that right, Doc?
Yeah, you darn. So I agree.
All right.
You know, have a good
Gentlemen.
evening.
Have a good, be safe, and we'll talk with you soon.
Thank
All
you
right.
all.
Thank y'all.
Thank